Hi, Christ Walkers. Welcome back to another episode of the Christ Walk podcast. If you're watching us, we've got a special guest today with us again, Jude Greenfield, Mrs.
Hi.
She's back. She's a pastor, so today we thought we would talk about if women are allowed to preach in the church today, because the Bible does not specifically say we should, does it? Yeah, so we just want to talk about that today.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for
You're
coming, Miss
welcome.
Jude.
The first question that you sent me was, so Eve was deceived, so clearly women aren't allowed to teach.
I feel like that is
I was like,
so harsh.
wow, that's a way to start.
True though, Eve was deceived.
Eve was deceived, but so was Adam. They
That's
both
true.
were. Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Neither of them stopped the other. And some people would even say Adam made up loads of excuses, like, oh, it was her fault. Yeah. So I think actually in Paul's letter to Timothy, he's talking about it's a two-way conversation, and we don't have both sides of the conversation. So it's in one letter, and actually I think he's talking to the male leadership, saying, make sure you include women, and it's a rhetorical device he uses in his writing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would recommend this book to anyone who's not sure. It's still really controversial, and this is a book by Lucy Peppiatt called Women and Worship at Corinth, and I think it's really helpful.
You get it from
You can get it from Amazon. You can get it from Eden. Lots of good Christian books on a website called Eden.
So why is that question like a debate today? Christian men that I've spoken to say that there shouldn't be lady pastors, but then I see many lady pastors still, and they're actually leading like really successful churches.
Yeah.
So why do you think it's still in debate? If
I should probably say I'm a priest in the Church of England. So Church of England accept women, priests and pastors.
Yeah.
But took a long time to debate it and look at the theology. I think some people just aren't convinced by the theology, but actually there's lots of great women leaders in the Bible. And I think the main reason people have taught for a long time that women shouldn't lead is because of some of Paul's letters. But actually, if you read them and think about them in their context, he also had lots of female leaders, women leading things in his ministry.
Yeah.
And so I would say actually you can have women leaders and preachers, and should discern that gift as you would discern that gift in a guy.
Yeah, like Deborah. Was it Deborah?
In the Old Testament?
Yeah.
She was she was a leader. Deborah was a leader. Yeah. And then lots of other women. Yeah, and Jesus included women in his followership and things. So, and Paul encouraged women. I think Phoebe delivered a letter, which was a really important role in Paul's time. So one of Paul's letters was sent with Phoebe to the Romans, to the church in Rome. So that was a really important job, and that wouldn't. Yeah, he didn't have a problem with women at all. But I think the other thing is, if you read the Bible just in English, in an English mindset or a North American mindset or a Western mindset today, you read it completely straight without any context. It does read as if Paul's saying no women.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, but if you are more of a Bible scholar, if you look into the culture of the time, I don't read ancient Greek. Do you? Have you ever learned how to read the Greek? No. My tutor at college, shout out to Chris Tilling, my tutor at college said, you need to learn to read the Greek, or read a textbook where they've read it. And actually books like this one, where Lucy's done all that hard work for you, can explain why we should read it slightly differently.
Yeah.
So yeah,
but in like Bible verses like, of course, First Timothy and First Corinthians, they do argue against women preaching or holding authority over men. So would your position be like you are holding authority over men in the congregation since you're teaching them?
Yes, there is an element of authority.
Yeah.
As a leader of a church. Yeah. And I think in the context of those passages, Paul is writing to a church where they are leaving women out, and they shouldn't be.
Oh.
Yeah. So if you reread it again and think, actually, he's challenging the men in the leadership to saying, you're telling women they can't lead, but actually they can. Or actually it's about too much conversation happening in church. Wait until you get home to have those conversations. It's not saying women can't ask questions or women can't teach. It's saying if your women are asking you lots of questions during your meeting and your gathering, maybe you should wait till later because it's stopping other people from learning. It's not actually about women shouldn't lead because they're women.
1 Timothy 2:11-14 says, "Let a woman learn quietly with all submissiveness. I do not permit a woman to teach or to exercise authority over a man. Rather, she is to remain quiet. For Adam was formed first, then Eve, and Adam was not deceived. But the woman was deceived and became a transgressor, yet she will be saved through childbearing." So, why is he saying that it was just Eve that was deceived?
Well, I think I'd have to do some research on it, but I think that's the passage I meant earlier when there was a specific issue in a specific church that Paul was addressing, that where the women for some reason were becoming unruly,
right? It was
and speaking over each other, or teaching when they didn't have the authority from the wider church, or teaching when they didn't have the training, or just speaking out in church asking questions. So I think I think you've got to look at the context, for a specific church rather than a general rule, because it seems weird that he would say that about women teaching and preaching, and then give them significant other roles in other places.
Yeah. Have you faced any challenges about this? Like, have you ever been attacked when it came to this?
I haven't actually. Yeah. I have. Nobody has specifically come to me and said you can't do this.
Yeah.
And actually, everyone on my journey to ordination was really encouraging, men and women. But I have friends who had maybe a bishop who wouldn't ordain them, and so they had to get, when they had done all their training, they had to go to a different bishop to be ordained, or a different bishop came to ordain them because they don't agree with the theology of ordaining women.
Yeah.
And then I have a friend who is partly Greek Cypriot background, and her grandma is Eastern Orthodox, and said, "Well, you can't be a priest. You're not a man." When she told her grandma that she was going to train for ordination, her grandma said, "No, you can't do that because you're not a man." So so there's still a lot. I've been very fortunate. I had lots of encouragement, actually. Yeah.
Did God speak to you from heaven? Kidding. Did you just feel that peace to actually go and be ordained and actually step out? Because back in your day, I'm not saying you're old. She's not old, guys. She's like 20. She's
I'm not
20. Women, were they treated as bad as? Well,
I think when I was growing up, women's ordination was new, and so first of all, women were allowed to be ordained as deacons, but not priests and not bishops, and then they're allowed to be priests, and then more recently bishops. So I've grown up sort of through that and not had to be at the forefront of that. But I do remember being in a diocesan synod before I was ordained, and they were just voting on women bishops, and I had just joined, so I wasn't allowed to vote because I wasn't being added or whatever they do till the end of the meeting. So I had to sit there and listen to all these different arguments about women bishops and why they should or shouldn't be bishops. And a man stood up and said, "They just want to be like men." And my blood was boiling, and it's just as well I wasn't allowed to speak, because I would have maybe said quite a lot, and it would have been very unhelpful to everybody in the room. It would have been very unfiltered. So so not directly at me, but at other people. So I was in a great youth group growing up, and the youth worker and the leadership of the church really encouraged the teenagers and the youth to get involved in different leadership things, and so then went on from there. Went into different kinds of leadership in the church and became a student worker after I'd been to university, but I never thought about ordination until God popped it in my head. Yeah.
How did you know he's the one who popped it in your head? I mean,
I did weigh it. So Dan and I had been working for a church and decided to go abroad and be missionaries for a short while. So we went to some different places to friends that were missionaries. But in between, we also went to Australia to do some mission work there, because everyone needs Jesus. But they're very Western, and they have an Anglican system of churches, and the church we were based at was an Anglican church, and it was really a really normal church, and there was 2 people training for ordination, and I thought, well, that's really interesting. I've never really thought about that before. I've thought about studying theology but not training for ministry. And as I thought about it and asked them and asked the vicar of that church what it was involved, I thought, oh, maybe this is what God's saying to me. Then I told some friends, and they went, yeah, like it was so obvious to them.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And I thought, oh, nobody ever told me.
They're like, come on.
Oh guys. So then when we got back from traveling, we went to speak to our local vicar, and I thought he would just send me away with a list of books to read, but he said, oh, this is what you need to do, come and do this.
Nice.
Yeah. I think also I had by that stage there were ordained women around, so there were role models. So I think before then it was really hard to find a role model for women who wanted to be ordained in the Church of England.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was really helpful, having other women also applying for ordination or who'd just been ordained to then discuss that with and ask them how they're finding it. Yeah. Uh-huh. So that was really helpful.
Like the Catholic Church, yeah? They don't do that. The Orthodox do that.
Don't think so.
So, like, I don't get it though. Why? It's so confusing sometimes.
Yeah. What do you think about this podcast? One of your questions to me was, should I be doing this podcast if women can't speak?
Yeah, I definitely should be doing this, because you said Paul was talking to a particular church, but then some people might take that out of context, saying that. So if God was talking to the Israelites, then this does not apply to us then, right? Like, what are we actually supposed to? Did God actually write that Bible for us? Since it was written like, what, 2,000 years ago? So
it was written for us. I think that the stuff Paul wrote to particular churches we can still learn from. Right. Like order in church, not speaking over each other, not asking too many questions, because actually then nobody gets to learn. So I think there are things we can still learn from it. Just we need to be careful what we take from it and make rules where there weren't meant to be rules. Yeah. So so it's still relevant. Yeah. Like if we say Deborah was a leader, then surely God had female leaders in mind. You asked about the man has authority over a woman in marriage, definitely, but if she needs to correct her husband, is that teaching him?
Oh yeah, the Bible says we should be submissive to our husbands, right? And then First Timothy's like, we were deceived, so we shouldn't speak in church. And then you're like, wait, so are women actually allowed to even speak at all?
Yeah,
to men, since that would be like authority.
Yeah, I'm not allowed to speak to any men ever.
Literally just
literally at all, just nothing. No. Don't say anything. But some religions and some at various points in time in Christianity as well, women were really barely allowed to speak to men, and it was we were told it was because of the Bible. So again, it's a misreading. Yeah, I'm not even sure I agree with the statement the man has authority over a woman in marriage, because actually. Well, yes and no.
How am I supposed to be submissive if I don't?
Well, what does submission mean? What does submission mean? Yeah. So what does it mean to you? What does it mean to you?
Like, he doesn't make all the rules. He lets you, like, it's like a partnership, right?
Yeah.
But then I don't understand what it actually means.
Okay. Yeah. In my mind, submission means you should submit to each other. So you should be a blessing to each other. You should want the best for each other.
Yeah.
And in that sense, submit to one another, rather than he's in charge and that means you are less than, smaller than, less important than him. Submission is not about being smaller or weaker. It's about looking after each other and working together in a true partnership.
Yeah. So does that mean that he submits to you as well?
Sometimes. Yeah. That might be different teaching to what you've heard from other places.
Yeah.
But I would say that Adam and Eve were created to be a whole. They were created to complement each other, and she was created to be a helper to him, and he was created to love and serve and protect her, but not in a dominant way, not in a one above the other way, but in a really equal way, to really fit together and work together. So complementary gifts, different gifts. Sometimes one might lead and then the other one might lead on different things. So my husband and I have very different skills. Sometimes I might seem to be taking a lead and other times he will take a lead.
Right.
Yeah. So in terms of authority over a woman, that sounds like, a dictator or political power or physical strength. And I don't think that's appropriate at all.
Yeah. More like dictatorship.
Yeah. It should be complementary, working together, pair. Yeah. And I think if the woman sometimes corrects her husband, the Lord's speaking. Wisdom is referred to as she in the Bible, and I think wisdom maybe means a woman needs to just speak to her husband. I'm looking forward to the comments underneath this one.
Oh yeah,
Oh, the theology. Oh, but I also think so. You're doing a podcast, and lots of women have been told they can't lead, and they've gone and led other things because they can't lead in the church. So they've gone and led charities, or they've gone and led missions, and I think that's amazing. But it's also a bit sad that they felt that they aren't welcome in churches to do those things. So you're going to help preach at church now?
I don't know. Is it my calling? No.
I don't know.
All right. Yeah. Thank you so much, Miss Jude. That was short, but yeah,
short but sweet.
Yeah. Thank you for correcting us.
Challenging, opening.
More like that. Yeah, opening our eyes. All right. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much, guys, for watching the Carswell podcast. I hope you enjoyed this short one. Thank you so much. Bye, guys. See you later.